Hey everyone. Most of you know me, but for the few who don't, I'm Matt, and I won't lie, I can't believe I'm about to launch my own book in amongst so many friends. I hope I match the fantastic poetry out tonight, something that I used with my computer. An example, my first ever book is called Allergic to Stairs. Published by Some-Antics Publishing, is hopefully being held up now. It's 82 pages packed full of my poems, a mixture of funny ones, apocalyptic futures, insights into my disability, and much more. My friends and I are going to give you a taste of what's in the book now. I have chosen the first poem I performed in public, so it will always have a special place, and it seemed fitting, don't you think? It is called The Two Trees. Rock solid hardwood, sturdy fountain of tangled roots, the two giant redwoods together, a stable, ever-growing pair of brutes. King and queen of the windswept forest, rotting leaves and fallen branches surround, dappled sunlight struggling through the canopy, hitting the damp, life-giving ground. Two colossuses together, seeds once missed in the mists of time, now dominating this gnarled ancient forest, rulers of the kingdom in which they climb. Hundreds of creatures around them, living in dark and gloomy holes, overshadowed by the two's majestic beauty, protected by these immense wooden poles. Climbing their way out of the darkness, their tangled leaves yearning for light, these two amazing redwoods, public yet private, what a sight. Thanks. This is a tale about murder and sheep. It's called A Little Lamb Had Mary. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. Everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. But that's not the end of the story. Some details were left out. The little lamb's top legal team got him off on reasonable doubt. The lamb had Mary at his side, going everywhere he went. He trained her to clean every trace of them if they had to cause an accident. Mary was an expert in losing evidence at the scene of his crimes. No hoof prints or wool fibers were left, just the natural dirt and grime. Be it the murder of a rival herd, or the collection of a golden fleece, poor Mary was always left behind to clean up for the police. Little Lamb was a criminal mastermind, one of the country's most feared, famed for bloody violence and no compassion. Even murderers hid when he neared. Mary was the safety net on whom he heavily relied. His fixer, cleaner, and his right-hand man, all his loose ends she tied. But as the time of the maiming went on, poor Mary had her doubts. The life of crime wasn't for her. She wanted to get out. But with all she'd seen and all she'd heard, Little Lamb wouldn't let poor Mary go. When she asked him, he replied, if she left, her future life would be a no-show. A few weeks of collecting wool went by. Mary's feelings of dread heightened, but when she was hoovering her last eyeball up, she suddenly felt enlightened. Mary was the quiet one in the shadows, the one everybody ignored, but this time she had to take action. She had to take down her crime lord. The plan and action had to be perfect, the job without a hitch. Mary had to be in and out so quickly, planting evidence pointing to it. Tich was the biggest and baddest ram, the Schwarzenegger of the sheep world, but Mary had struts in his coarse black fleece. She took the box where it lay curled. She crept to little lamb's luxurious stable in the night's darkest hour. Quick as a flash his little head rolled off, and then Mary started to thoroughly scour. The crime scene was meticulously arranged, evidence perfectly planted. Mary was in sunless Spain the very next day, but it didn't have his bail granted. Mary, Mary, quite contrary. How does your garden grow with silver bells and cockle shells and pretty names all in a row? Thanks a lot.
Matt has really kindly asked some of his friends to read some of his poems for him, which is really interesting to read his poems in a different voice. And first off is going to be Cathy Ray!
Where's Mum going? Where's she going?
Okay, so this is real life. Born with a burden around our neck, rule-breaking, punished or rewarded, a maze of amazement, ring-rolling pitfalls, each standout achievement recorded, mundane actions lost in the commotion, people losing in the human race, struggling to get their unique voice heard, tripping over the bespoke silk and lace, most hacking away on rusty chains, holding their personalized anchors, slowing down with each hit taken, unable to get rid of their clinging cankers, and targets go past in a blur of disappointment, dodging people's careful aims, lucky shots, unfortunate ricochets in need to win those rigged fairground games, and rules and regulations set in good faith, designed to help their followers live, turned and twisted by the radical man, hoping their imaginary friend will forgive. Images of the perfect life surround us, abs of steel and plastic boots pose, living in penthouses with golden gates or Photoshop so anything goes. Some designer gives drugs giving it totes high, illegal except for the prescribed few. Aging medication losing the battle now, as superbugs come charging through. The lawbreakers hide behind the lawmakers, not caring about their caring attitude. Common sense left out of the common work, looking for the public's mark of gratitude, and babies born bald and bound by borders, children criticised for not being free, adults trapped in a cycle of forced work, dying in a place that smells of weed. Real life is the obligatory uphill struggle, filled with rock falls of pressure, but stop for a moment and see the view. Your unique life is one to treasure. Matt, I'm so sorry about the dogs.
That was really funny. Cathy getting heckled by her own dogs. Not even like other people's dogs. So, we do, Mum. Bad. Amazing. Okay, the next poet, DJ, to read one of Matt's poems, is the one and only Mr. Ninja Paul. He's looking for the poem. Keep it going, keep the applause going. He's looking for the page number. Yeah, okay. I think we can stop applauding. We'll just wait. Do you want me to find the poem? I can't read very often. Is the poem in the book, man? Some-Antics professional as it were.
Yeah, I'm not a poet, I'm a DJ. I'm a shit DJ, but even worse poet. So this is titled While Leicester City Sleeps. The cold streets are deserted of people, and the bustling high cross is deathly quiet. King Power is empty of its supporters, the market stalls without a riot. Leicester's population are safely tucked up asleep in their country homes, whether a sprawling mansion in Houston or in their bedroom, where their bedroom roams. Leicester's nocturnal creatures emerge from their daytime slumbers to start the routines in their floodlit lights, waking in large numbers. From inside the clock tower, bats appear as large as Gary Lineker's ears, flocking up and down. Flocking up and down High Street for leftover cans of beer, like their cousins the vampire bats. They navigate with clicks and beeps, sipping drops of their amber nectar, all while Leicester City sleeps. A family of foxes exits the gate from the King Power Stadium's east stand. The group of hungry omnivores target anything that isn't canned. Brightly coloured berries to doner kebabs with their deadly hunting sweeps. Nothing is safe from their sharp white teeth, all while Leicester City sleeps. Around the height of Demonstrative University, scholarly owls roost by day. At night they let their feathers down and come out to party and play. These clever owls have legendary gatherings, leaving their empties in big heaps, putting cones on statues and licking signs, all while Leicester City sleeps. In the peaceful grounds of Abbey Park, around the pond, a racket formed from two flocks. The rap competition goes down till dawn, swans and ducks lay down a few mocks. Each side produces some dirty beats for the opposition to hear and weep. Yet the MCs weave their stories of duckweed while Leicester City sleeps. The badgers of Belgrave Gate fill their bellies with onion barges and chicken tikka, rampaging down the Golden Mile as if they're wearing Nike sneakers. Ignore all the traffic jams, overside the roads and curves they leap. Their nostrils and brains full of spices, while Leicester City's fast asleep. The dawn chorus greets Leicester's day, like cascades upon the king's final grave. All the nocturnal creatures head to their bed, till tomorrow's moonlight crime wave.
Hey, give it up for Ninja Bob! Okay, nice one, Bob. Right, massive thanks, Matt. Matt's asked me to read a poem as well, so I'm going to read a poem. I'll see if I can find it. I have an easy job because the poems that I've been asked me to read is the first one in the book, so I feel like I got away with that. Matt, this guy. Okay, this is called A Light Blinks. A pinprick of light pierced the gloom, an insignificant light-emitting diode, silently doing its one and only function in the darkness, the tiny red glass globe. Catching the attention of the black room, eyes fixed on its shining, staring shine, nobody interrupted its awaited moment, anticipating the world's decline. The stale air was filled with combined dread, which joined the silent breathing, contemplating the humming air filter, the unnoticed freshness it was bequeathing. The red light illuminated a circular area, shining off the control's high-tech surface, antibacterial, non-stick and self-cleaning metal, the most advanced tool of the human race. Inside a buried bunker, the light shone, weak rays falling onto a lonely word, printed in black bold Times New Roman capitals, warning, read, but never heard. Kindled fires of fear and bitter regret in the souls of the most influential men. Could they have stopped this light illuminating, the last on earth to be witnessed there? This insignificant spot of pure red colour, joined by thin wires to the outside world, sensations that turned into an electrical spark, as radioactive particles are being heard. Suddenly, the silence reached new heights. The air's circulation fans spluttered and stopped. There was only the glow from the mini red light, the heavy dullness, and the heartache dropped. The once blue and green planet of varied life comes to an end when nobody thinks. The last line on Earth, bathing in the red light, but then with the word warning, a light moves. And if that's the first poem in the book, right, that tells you how good it's going to be. So, massive thanks to Matt for launching your book at Some-Antics, to Cathy, Bob, thank you myself as well for reading poems. If you'd like to buy a copy, Matt's got books there. They're £10, you can pay with cash, with a card. So yeah, please, big round of applause for Matt Gopsill.